Hi guys, so basically what I want to do in this video is to mark my paper, and then that paper that I've did in my previous video, which is Further Pure May June 2021, as you can see right here. And one thing to note, I want to tell you guys, is that it's very important to mark your own paper, because with that, only through that can you reflect on your mistakes. And then I kind of peeked at the marking scheme after I done my paper, and then I didn't really feel well, but I kind of will show you guys how I mark my paper, and maybe hope that this serves to you as a guideline. Then, so here, as you can see, we have something like B1, M1, A1, right? B1 I would interpret as the statement marks, and then M1 would be maybe something like a method mark. So it doesn't really matter if you calculated something wrongly. If you use the method correctly, that M1 would be given to you, and then for A1 it would be the answer mark. So it would, yeah, totally depend on your answer to achieve that mark. Now, for B1, now let's see our first question over here. So this is the induction question. Now, so the first mark that I have to allocate is if I see this thing over here is divisible by 15, right? Now, using my red pen, okay, I see this thing, right? And I did it correctly, so this is a statement mark, so I just allocate myself a B1. And then assume that 2 to the 4k power, okay, is divisible by 15. So assume this is true, and then I saw this, so I can just give myself another B1. Now, 2 to the 4k plus 4 power, I've written something like this outside, right? So M1, and then I see this. I won't mark, I won't give like M1, A1 here, I just mark it because it's correct. So uh, is yeah, this is actually correct also. So this is an A1 over here, and then it's divisible by 15 because this whole thing is divisible by k, so A1 again. So since your previous statement, no, since your statement for like the previous whole number implies that the statement for the next number is true, therefore, yeah, something like this. But then I still recommend that whatever is written on the mark scheme, you just follow, because mark scheme is life, guys. Okay, now for question 2, we have here you use, so as you can see, I used the formula over here. So this is an M1 over here, then I would have to kind of, yeah, and then I give an A1 over here because I factorized it correctly. And then this one might look a bit different from what I have over here, but then if I kind of multiply it out, so like 1 over third n cubed negative 1 over third n cubed minus n square plus 1 over 3n, then since these two are equivalent, I know I'm being linear on myself, but then I would give this mark to myself. Now again, so for this question 2b, r plus 1, okay, this whole thing is equals to m1 a1, okay. So I basically have to do like a cross multiplication thing over here, and then I see it's correct. And then if my final answer is correct, I also award myself an A1. And then, oh, I wrote that part at the right, to the right of the paper, but anyways. So for this one, I see over here that, okay, this is my method mark because I saw this. This basically is the same thing, but then, yeah, it's better to write the brackets actually. And then I cancel everything out. I didn't really write in the form of like, oh, the final product will be something like this, but then this one still does the trick, I'd say. So A1 over here. And then for this one, oh, I wrote this. Okay, so this one would just be my final answer. So again, this one corresponds to this one. And then for my final sub question over here, deduce the value. This is just a statement mark, so if you just wrote the answer over here, you also get the full mark. Then again, if I wrote, if I got full marks, I just circle the number of marks allocated over here. So just circle this, then circle this. Right now, I'm a bit anxious about this one because I saw that this one I didn't really do correctly, or like okay. Yeah, y equals to x3. So this is a statement mark over here, and then y to the fourth power minus 2 y over 1. Yeah, this is one very careless mistake over here that you're seeing, and then like because of this one mistake, the entirety of the remaining of the question is just wrong. So this one is incorrect, so this is a 0, right? And then comparing coefficients, even though I did method correctly, but then they only award a statement mark, so this is a B0 over here. The method mark, let me see how it's given. Obtains an equation not involving radicals. So this would be, I think I'll be a bit harsher on myself here and then not award myself this mark. So I'll put a -3 over here. So yeah, I didn't really pay enough attention for that. Okay, that I have to admit, unfortunately. And then okay, relates 1 over a cubed. Okay, so for this part, right? So for this part, I expanded everything. So this is an m1 over here, but then my a1 was both of my a1s over here, I didn't get it, so I have to deduct myself a 2 marks over here. And then for this one, I did have the method mark because I did do it correctly. This is m1 over here, but then a0, so -1 mark. So as you can see, if you do one part wrong, you will subsequently get a lot of parts wrong. So this is already like 6 marks down the drain. Very unfortunate, but I have to accept it. Okay, B1 rotation 60 degrees. So I have to rotation 60 degrees is equals to 1/2 sec3 over 2 negative sec3 over 2 1/2. So this is B1 over here. Then extension, the B1 mark over here, and then m equals to this whole thing. So this is an m1 since I used the method, and then for my final result, since I see that this whole thing is the same, so I can award myself full marks in this sub question. And then over here we can basically see, oh, 1/2 d is equals to d, so m1 mark over here and then a1 mark over here. This also gets full marks. Now mn equals to 1. Okay, so for this one, m is equals to 1 over 2. Wait, we are, okay, wait, so the inverse of m, yeah, this is correct, but then I forgot to substitute d equals to 2 over here, so I cannot get this statement mark, so I have to -1 mark over here. And then I did do the, how do I say, I did do the inverse multiplication thing, inverse matrix multiplication thing. So yes, here's a method mark here. And then the final product, I didn't get the correct answer because I didn't do the whole question completely, so I have to deduct 2 marks here. So this is oh my god, this is becoming more and more, this is descending into, I don't know what, madness. And for question, this is question 4D. As you can see here, this is what would correspond to a statement mark. This is correct, so I'll have a B1 over here, and then this one would be again another M1, then A1. Yeah, 1 plus M equals to 2. Okay, so I saw this correct, and then I saw, since I wrote it on the right of the paper. So I see these two answers, and then I can award myself an A1. So this one would be another 5 marks here, right? And then let's move on to question 5. So for theta equals to 0, okay, initial line with correct position and shape. Pole position must be clear. Initial line with CB1 wrong starting position. Pole position must be clear. So yeah, it would look something like this. So again, I would say B1, and then I think I'll have to deduct myself 1 mark here because I didn't label this as theta equals to 0 because it could be anything. And then for this one, I did prove it, so this is another B1. Okay, now we move down. Half of okay, this whole thing. Okay, this is one method mark over here, so one method mark, and then this is one method mark over here because I see this, and then again A mark, right? Then yeah, I did the substitution in the final steps, so this would be, since my final answer is correct, I'll also give myself an A1. Now for the M1 A1 M1 M1 A1, okay, so this one is also full marks, but then I'd still recommend to like just substitute A into it directly. I don't follow my steps. Show that C has Cartesian equation. Okay, R equals to 2. Yeah, this is a bit cosine theta cosine. I think I also award myself an M1, although it's a bit different, but then this one is also another M1, and the whole substitution thing. After substituting a whole bunch of stuff, I got this. So since it aligns with what was given in the question, full marks for this question also. And then the vector question. Okay. So we have what was this again? This was, wait, T, yeah, we are 0 T10 minus 0 1 T. Oh, frick. So again, this leads to, you see all this, so not really good, yeah. We have negative 1 2 4, so this is an A1 over here, and then I use the cross product, so another M1. And then for the method mark, yeah, I award myself the method mark, but then not the answer mark, so minus 2 in this case. Oh my god. And then this wasn't correct, so yeah, be more careful next time. I think I have to upload one more paper because I was so careless this time. So we have this thing here, so I used the cross product thing, so M1, so cosine theta, or maybe alpha, is equals to this one, yes, and then I did subtract it, so another A1 over here, full marks. Find the acute angle between, so this is 76.8, I guess. I saw this, I give myself an A1, and then this whole thing is another A1. And then yeah, method mark for using the, what's this, dot product, so M1. And then another tip I'd recommend is, like, if you use theta above, try not to use theta in the next question. Yeah, maybe substitute like alpha over here. And then curve C has equation. Curve C has equation. So over here, one of the asymptotes is x equals to -1, okay. And then y equals to this whole thing. This is another method mark, and then the last one will be equals to y equals to x, so 3 marks here. dy equals to this thing. This is m1 here. Then we have a1. Then we see these two, so a1 each, so 4 marks. And then over here, it would be axis labeled and correct asymptotes drawn. So axis labeled, correct asymptotes drawn, so B1. And then upper branch with 0, 9 stated or shown on diagram. Okay, so shown on diagram, since I shown it, and then so this is another B1. Lower branch, correct and good approach to asymptotes throughout no extra branches. This one, I don't know if that might be linear, but then this one should be like a bit of an approaching shape. I don't know if that makes sense. And then yeah, one thing to know is that you shouldn't draw hairy lines throughout, so try not to draw hairy lines. But I think I'll be lenient this time, and then I'll mark myself this mark. Okay, so for question 7D, I reflected the whole thing up, so this looks like a B1 here. And then we have this thing. Yeah, I equated this, so this would be m1 m1. And then I did another for this one also, so another m1. Then x equals to half and 5. I saw this, so this would be, I think, an a1 over here. This is a1, correct. And then the range, this is also a1, so I think I'll reward myself full marks for this question. And then for the whole question paper, there are like 75 marks over here, so I'll just see how many I've deducted. And then yeah, this time I didn't really fail because of me having to explain. I know I'm pushing the blame, but then anyways, -3, -3, -4, -6, -6, -6, and then -12. Oh my god, -12. So the full mark of this paper is 75. So 75 minus 12, 63 over 75 is 84%, which is kind of a good grade. But then again, it's because of the many small mistakes that pile up. Again, to advise you to like double check every single question that you do, so that you don't make these kinds of mistakes that I've done. And then I'm just showing you like in real time what I've done. And then since they allocate 2 hours to this question paper, do use the remaining time to check whether you have done something correctly or not. If like, see like what are some examples of dumb mistakes. Dumb mistakes include you knowing that, okay, like I know that I have a 1 here, but then yeah, I still use this. And then this whole thing was like this whole thing caused my succeeding parts to also do wrongly. But then luckily they have like the M1 marks over here, because otherwise, as I've heard from my seniors or even my teachers, they said in older times, if you did one step wrong, the marks for the whole question will be like gone or something. So this exam board is already considered to be very, very lenient. Then yeah, younger generation definitely very blissful. Okay, so yeah, this is how I mark my own paper, and hope that this served as a guideline for you. And I think, I don't know, maybe I'll record like one more paper in the next video. And yeah, bye bye.